Georgetown on the ground, there's Hillwood. Magnificent battle for the grand final.
Up she goes in the middle of the ground. Wayward bounce. Tapped down by Georgetown towards half forward. The ball tempted to kick off the ground and just bouncing towards the boundary line. Players struggling to pick the footy up. And we've got Taylor on the ground there for Georgetown. Oh, the umpire picks up a fairly technical one there. He says over the shoulder, and we welcome Stumpy to the commentary position. G'day, mate.
Yeah, Danny Pete on the mark, mate. She's a pretty good day.
Yeah, beautiful day for footy.
Kicks forward, Georgetown.
Spilled attempt.
In comes Tubby Hammersley, picks the ball up. Handball's back, Keith Donnelly, smothered. Hammersley goes up again, punches forward. Tuttle runs in on the left foot.
Good little chip pass there.
He's found Barron. The captain of
Open
Georgetown
space in the
kick
forward
first
pocket.
goal.
Lining up from about 20 metres out. Pretty tight angle.
Big South African on the mark there, David.
That's him, the big 6'4" fella.
Yeah, first year playing.
Yeah, he's just come over. His brother plays rugby in Union, and he's bigger than him and he's younger than him, so it's a bit hard to work out how big those... They must breed him fairly well over there.
It's just gone across the face of goal.
I think you find Henry's kicking out. No, might be Darren Hammersley kicking out for fullback. Yeah, Tubby is a bit of a veteran. I think he should probably retire this year. He's pushing 36. He's kicked out forward. He's looking for and finding young Ant Henry on the Keith Donnelly. Pushed out towards the wing. It's not quite on the full. We thought it was from here, the Hillwood boys. If you're watching, but nah, she's thrown in by, not quite sure, a fella in white they call an umpire.
Yeah, well, the umpires have had plenty of the footy in the under-18s, so good start for the boundary umpires here too.
First change, see Grant Donnelly coming off, Dalehurst coming straight on, which is sort of quite strange.
Kick off the ground, inside 50 for Georgetown.
Mick Jordan, captain coach, taps it
Oh,
on.
grabbed out of the air.
Dangerous.
Left, snap. Just across the face of goal there, Bannon. Just blazing away a little bit there.
So, mate, the score, Georgetown 0-2, 2 points. Hillwood yet to score. Hillwood yet to go forward to the centre.
Did Georgetown finish on top of the ladder?
No, yes, I'm not sure with the Georgetown and Scottsdale. I think Georgetown finished on top and won the qualifying. Actually, they might have beat Scottsdale in the qualifying and then straight through.
Right.
Georgetown have won 2 and Hillwood have won. Hillwood got beaten in the first semi-final. On to Big Faree, to Danny Pete, who will be a very influential player today if he plays up to what he can do. Scotty Davenport, on to Clinton Parker.
Oh, good physical work there.
Anthony Henry is the man we were talking about that left Georgetown during the year. Tut Hill. Clinton Parker again, that's high tackle, umpire lets it go. She's pretty willing and able down here.
Yep, players throwing the bodies on the footy, umpire letting it go. Trying to pick up the footy there, that's Jago.
Throws the ball. Scott Davenport's got it. Long looking for Peter Lawrence. Open. Umpire lets that go, which he probably paid for that.
Good pick up, kicking out towards the centre wing. There's Jago, it's over his head. Bouncing towards the boundary line. Pushing it further towards the boundary line is Jago wearing the gloves. Wouldn't think there'd be a need for gloves today.
No, you'd wonder why. If you can't get a feel of the ball today, you can. I mean, they were in AFL, but they seem to wear one. But most of the fingers are out of them. But then again, I suppose it's each their own.
Just a bit of camera maintenance there.
Tuttle.
Taylor.
Young Benny Wheeler in under the pack. Young Hart. Umpire comes in, takes control. Good to see the umpire hasn't been too bad so far.
Yeah, the umpires let it go. It's been reasonably physical. First couple of minutes, players throwing themselves in.
As most finals, they try and take charge, and sometimes it ruins a good spectacle. Nice
Good grab.
Yes.
Scragged, gets his kick away.
Hammersley charges forward towards Jago.
Jago. Oh, he heard footsteps.
Yeah, I think he might have then, and that's nearly throwing the ball.
He's got
Good umpiring.
another chance. Pops it on the right. Kicks wide towards half forward. Bouncing footy.
Hursty, no. Young Timmy Wheeler, young under-18, best and first winner on a Darren Hammersley. Looks short. Circles, doesn't quite get it. Craig Collins, that is. There's the Circles would be known if you were taping the game. You'd find out why they called him Circles.
Yeah?
He runs around a bit.
Oh, okay.
Got the turning circle of the Queen Mary. Big
Good throwing. It's a
Tuttle.
bit tough for the pack, though. It's right over the back. Oh, almost takes a runner out.
Clinton Parker keeps it in. Probably wasn't a good option in the end.
Good pick up.
The
Handball.
big 6. Interesting. The big fella, he's kicked it. Yes, Keith Donnelly hard at the ball. Normally a senior player. He's had bad knees this year. Missed 15 senior games, so he's actually back in the twos, which...
He's good for the twos.
Yes, it's very handy. Touch ball, not real good play. Young Tuttle's dropped that. Chris Airy,
Heard
Shepherds.
footsteps. Tapped out.
Tapped out, yes. Not
Not
really
much
on a
time.
good
There's a good handball. Gets the ball to boot.
Jago. On
Bouncing.
Shane Jago. Yes, good play. He's kicked that forward.
That's a good kick. Oh, two Georgetown players
Close
almost
up.
run into each other.
Mick Jordan, captain coach, an old head. 36 now, Mick. On to young Andrew Viney. That's a good play. And he's away. He's looked forward. He's looking for and finding Chris Airy. Forward line open at the moment for the Sharks. Interesting here. The umpires let it go. Pretty good play by Georgetown to hold that up. Chris has got a few out here in the wing. He's got Keith Donnelly. He's got 15 yards. He's got a man just in front of him. Willie Mark and Anthony Henry. Yes, just a appropriate problem here is for a twos player, he's a very long kick actually. He's a young fellow I was saying about that left Georgetown halfway through the year to come to Hillwood.
Oh, okay.
So it could be a bit of interesting during the day. As you can probably hear the crowd, they're into him a bit. He's on the pocket. A bit of an angle, I suppose, beyond 50, 60 degrees angle. It's a pretty good kick as he made the distance. Not quite there. Georgetown, instead of punching through, kept it in. Ball's come through. I think it's going to be a bounce. Yes, it's a bounce. 5 yards out from the Hillwood goal line.
Bring that mic around where it's best for you.
Yeah, sort of. Umpire bounces.
Slightly
Georgetown.
wobbly. Punched.
Yeah, punched through. Good play by Georgetown.
Hillwood, his first score on the board. They're one behind, trailing Georgetown 2 behinds.
So far, a pretty clean game, which can be unusual in grand finals, but I think that the spite's gone out of the game these days with the send-off rule, which is a good rule, I think. I think the AFL should look at it.
Yep.
Two reports and you're off. That's
Good
a
grab.
kick, yes.
We've
Good
got
point.
Lewis kicking from half-back. Towards the wing, looking for Jago. It's too long for him, though.
Davenport. No, young Tom Freeman. He's young. His dad passed away about 8 years ago. We'd be proud.
Okay.
He was an old Georgetown boy from years ago. In short to Captain Mark Donnelly, who pretty scrappy kick. Tuttle, yes, Tuttle marks pretty easy. Kicks out towards the wing, bit of space.
Oh, slipped over at the vital moment.
Andrew
Brings
Vine-
Hillwood into it.
Andrew Vine, he's done the same thing. Off the ground, pretty scrappy in towards... I won't say what we call him at training,
There's
but young Hammersley...
Good pick up. Oh, fly with one hand was... do you know who that was, Stumpy?
No, mate, I couldn't tell. I think it was young Bannon. That's a very soft free kick, but
Not
I
named in
suppose
the program, number 10.
Young Benny Wheeler is another under-18 boy. He's a prodigy of the Donnellys. There's quite a number of them here. There's five Donnellys and 2 Wheeler boys. That's a good mark by Anthony Henry. Should pump this long to Peter Lawrence at full forward. That's ordinary kick. Might get away with it. No, the Tuttle seems to be dropping back, and now the big South African is not folding down.
Handball
It's causing
backwards.
a few problems.
He's found Donahue.
Yeah, it's a good pass.
Kick just on the edge of the 50-metre arc, so Georgetown have it at half-back. Looking for options. Here's a lead.
Interesting kick. He sort of kicked it to no one, really.
Turns, looking for
Kicked it to
Maya.
4.
Jay goes in there,
Well, it's
bursting
well
through
done.
the pack.
Well done.
Picks it up. He's in trouble. Dodges, loses the footy.
Davenport, no, it's young Freeman. Lawrence, that's a good contest. Will he get caught? On the left foot, going through, bouncing,
Lays it
out of bounds
away.
on the full. Good effort, but probably wasted the ball.
Big point from the goal umpire there. He loves it.
Good to
Yeah, mate.
see the goal umpire using the gesture correctly. Sometimes goal umpires can be a bit lazy, but it's great when you find someone who's a real showman.
At least they're actually watching the game, which is more than some of them do, I suppose.
Well, with all the young ladies walking around here at York Park, it can be difficult to watch the game at times. Good mark taken there by Tuthill. Gets the play on quickly, but the handball is ineffective.
Oh.
It's high. Umpires let that go. Umpire's been pretty good today, which I don't normally say is one of my favourite points.
Yeah, he's letting play go on, and Georgetown managed to break away with a high hospital pass towards the centre wing. Mark almost taken, spilled off the chest. He's held on to, backs up. Good second effort there. Little chip pass towards half forward, and the mark taken on the chest there. Unnamed in the program, number 10, kicks towards full forward. Over the back of the pack, here's a chance for Georgetown. A bit of run. Overruns the footy. Diving on the footy there. Spills out. Pick up. Turn. Snap.
Should be a Georgetown mark.
Mark.
It is marked. Oh, 10 metres out.
Mark backing back.
In the right forward pocket towards the goal side. He's on the scoreboard side. He should kick this. Shouldn't have a lot of difficulty, and I think the first goal could be very important just as a psychological advantage to Georgetown or Hillwood.
Pretty tight angle. Kicking from about 15, 20.
Umpire's moved a long way. I think he's missed. Probably not a real good kick there from that angle. He probably should have been a little bit closer.
And very articulate with the one finger there, the goal umpire. 3 points to Georgetown, 1 point to Hillwood, 10 minutes into the first quarter.
And we're looking at we've got 10 minutes and only 4 points scored, so it's a pretty tight game at the moment. No side's been able to have a full run on the ground without the other team using the ball yet. It's been pretty tight. Georgetown chipped the ball. Hillwood have chipped the ball out twice now, 3 times, and they've gained out to the 40-yard mark at the moment. So they're just playing the chip game, which the seniors used to do to advantage. They're on to Craig Collins, who should be a very influential player today. He looks forward, and he's looking for and finding Danny Pete, who's got no one within 15 yards. Kicks the ball long and forward to Peter Lawrence. It's a good kick.
Oh, backing back in the
grab.
pack. There's a gutsy mark.
That is a great grab.
That's Donahue there. I think it's Donahue. No, it's not. It's
Not a good kick. He's handballed to Mick Jago. Mick Jago and then has coughed it up. Hillwood have got themselves in a bit of trouble here through handball. Onto Andrew Vine. He gone forward. The big step. No, Andrew Henry, sorry.
Oh, good
no,
gather.
Good tackle.
Ooh.
That's near dropping the ball, and that's a good tackle. Good decision, umpire. Not
Barrett there trying to burst through the pack.
hopefully an unbiased opinion from a Hillwood supporter, but I think it was a good tackle.
He had a chance, I think. Just a brief chance to get rid of the ball and didn't, and it was a very good
And
tackle.
this is a young man we've been talking about that left Georgetown through the year, so this will really lift the Sharks if he can put this through. And no doubt he'll let them all know all about it if he does kick it.
He's not kicking from in front of the stand like he was before. He got a bit of a razz.
That seems to be straight through, and Ant Henry's got their first goal, and Hillwood lead 1-1-7 to Georgetown, 3 points. Just a first clear sign that Hillwood have gone into the forward line in the open 50. Change, clearly wise, not a lot of hair on that head.
Oh, hang on, you say that again later, actually.
Down she goes.
That's a pretty good tap, that's well done.
Spilled out.
It's umpire, he's a bit stiff there, the Georgetown boy. He actually, only man playing the ball, and he got penalised for actually getting the ball. Don't quite agree with that rule.
Walsh it was there for Georgetown.
Only. He looks for Peter Lawrence, finds.
Oh, diving attempt. Here's a chance
Oh,
through.
Georgetown boys
Harris
spilled it.
trying to pick the footy up. Spills it again.
Well done by Lawrence.
Kick off
Backed
the
up
ground.
towards Henry. He's just, it's sockled off the ground, and umpires, it's pretty good umpiring there in the end.
And the Georgetown fans taking the opportunity to catch up with Henry. Say good day. How's it been? How have you been?
No doubt there's probably a few more impolite words than that, but we can wear that. Chris Airy rucks with Tuthill. Down to Jago, drops the ball onto Danny Pete, picks up handballs, finds a Georgetown player, an unknown, I didn't know him. And there's young Ben Wheeler, a young 16-year-old boy, just left school last year. Runner-up now, under-18 best and fairest. They've dropped a few under-18s back, which has been handy. Scotty Davenport marks, well punched by young Jago. He's turned back into play.
Oh, spills the ball.
Not real good defensive play by young Shane Jago. He turned back into play. Obviously, he wasn't confident on his left foot. Umpire tosses in 30 yards around from Hillwood's goal. Pete Tuthill combined. That's a real good tap.
Comes to the back of the pack. Jago's got a chance here. Has a look. Puts it to the boot, but it's not a good kick.
Hillwood's experience, just the senior players, there's about 3 or 4 drop back, seem to be sort of settling down a bit better than the the Georgetown players at the moment.
Oh, good grab.
Tuthill was playing
Floating
a very
across
good game
the
back.
front of the pack. G's done well across half back. Moves play on quickly. Here's a chance for Taylor backing back. Jay goes there as well. It eludes him. Taps it back in play. Gets a lazy elbow. Oh, headbutt. Headbutt. You don't see that a lot in footy.
No, Matty Lloyd copped a week for that, but the umpire saw that and didn't choose nothing about it, which is probably wasn't a lot in it. But
Jago must be an Essendon fan.
if you let them go, you must got to let everything go all day. So it'll be interesting. That's not real good play. Young Freeman on the right foot, kicks forward. Through comes Henry.
Ooh.
There's a good grab. He's causing a problem down there, Henry. This is the 3rd or 4th shot towards goal.
Yep.
It's a big, it's a good 50-metre kick into full forward. Lawrence is held back.
Punches away.
And he's going to get a free kick. I actually thought he was held high, but umpire's seen something and I didn't. I thought it was not a bad contest in the end. This could be interesting because Peter Lawrence can either be very, very accurate or very, very inaccurate. A bit like Matthew Richardson. You never know where it's going to go.
Well, he'll be kicking from 15, 20 metres out. Slight angle. Let's put it straight through the middle this time.
Umpire has not moved, and Hillwood lead at the moment, 2-1-13 to Georgetown, 3 points. I know it's only early, but signs not good for Georgetown at the moment. They're panicking a bit in the back line. They've just Hillwood kick another go. Comes young Mr. Ben Airy coming off the ground, talking to senior coach Max Pearce, who's doing the ball today. The ball down here, and as you see, Benny's not got a lot of hair, but the ball's been bounced back in the middle. And if the sun's in your eyes, we do apologise. It's coming off the camera for the runner. So, but there seems to be a lot of moves. Hillwood seem to be making a lot of moves off the bench. Georgetown have made 1. Hillwood have made 3. Danny Peach mark centre half forward, gone long, looking for Peter Lawrence again. Who umpire has paid that.
It's a good grab.
And he's what was I saying earlier? He's one of the senior players to come back for Hillwood this week. He hasn't played a lot of footy this year. He's probably only played 7 games. He's been in and out. He's chucked a bit of it on this year, Dreams. He was coached Hillwood for 2 years in the seconds. He lost 3 games until then were grand finals. So he knows what losing was all about. He's trying to win one. That's a very average kick. That's very well taken by young Jago. Handball, but instead of taking the ball out, his handball to young Cooper has found looking for Danny Pete. Handball.
Good tackle. Here's a chance. Jago tries to pick up. In trouble, turns, pops it on the right boot, kicks into open space. That's a good kick, actually. He's found a teammate there. And kicks quickly, just inside 50. There's a lead, a high fly and a good grab. Just copping one around the ear as he takes the mark there and moves play on quickly. Barron kicking towards full forward. It's up there. They jostle in the goal square. Backing back. Oh, that's a fine mark. Is that Tuthill, is it?
It is. Tuthill has actually caused a few problems for Hillwood. He's actually back into the back line. He's normally the #1 ruckman in the seniors, which obviously he thought that he wasn't quite fit, but he's playing quite well today. He's back into the back line, took marks. Now he's shooting directly in front of the 10-yard square. He should put this straight through for Georgetown's first goal. Umpire's run a long way, but I think he's got it. There it is. It's 1-3.
Look at the flourish in that goal, umpire.
Hillwood 2-1-13, and as we pause for a break.
It's the Triple S commentary that is so good here at York Park. But play moves on quickly.
Craig Collins bounced off a couple there. He's kicked forward long, looking for Chris Airy. Over the back, that's umpire's paid a man in the middle who...
He's held it aloft.
He's quite an interesting mark, but the umpire's called play on. I'm not quite sure why. He's ran 3 metres and had a bounce. But in the end, it's quite a good play from you.
Fox takes a mark, centre of the ground. Takes a bit of time deciding what to do with the footy, looking for a lead. Kicks towards half forward. Back of the pack. Bouncing. Oh, the bounce favours Georgetown. Almost gets his head pulled off.
Yes.
That's Maher there.
Umpire, I think that was probably a free kick. Heads over the ball and the man approaches. I think if you touch him head high, it's a free kick.
Yeah, I reckon it was there too. But the umpire's going to bounce the ball.
Who's in ruck? Tom Freeman and...
Wobbly one.
It's very well, good punch out by the Donnelly.
Ineffective kick off the ground.
Handball goes nowhere. Freeman tripped up, plays on over to Jordan, the captain coach of on to Craig Collins, and very good kick forward to and downfield, which is very silly play.
Little bit of biff here after the incident. Yes. And Jago's come to ground and Might want to pan around and get that, Wally. Bit of
outrun the runners. I'm not quite sure why they actually get involved sometimes because there wasn't much in that.
oh,
It's pretty soft downfield, I think. But Anthony Henry again, he's actually causing a few problems for. I mean, he's going to get a kick here that wasn't really his, but very soft by the umpire then. But then foolish, I suppose, by Georgetown. They've just kicked a goal. They've picked Hillwood back a bit. Henry kicking from 55, probably 60 yards out. Should land this at the top of the square. Not much movement in the Hillwood line. They know he'll go long. He comes in 55 yards out. You're approaching, man on the mark. Big long kick. Good kick. Not quite carrying. And that is a good mark.
grab.
Oh, umpire's paid. What's he paid? He's actually paid a push in the back. Or shepherding. I'm not quite sure what he's paid there.
Yeah, there's a bit of a shove there. Anyway, Georgetown move play on quickly. Here's a kick towards half-back. Just a bit of spirit creeping into the game right now. Good tap on. Attempted tackle by Jago. Good tackle there. Physical play.
Well done, umpire. Umpire's pulled a free kick out there. Was been pretty willing, and he's actually let the game go. And they've actually pulled out 2 free kicks in the last couple of minutes, which belie working out what they're doing. Bound umpire doesn't know what's going. Thought it was out of bounds. I think it was holding him out at the ball towards Hammersley and Freeman.
Tap down.
Hammersley
Ball
free.
comes to
pushed him
ground.
back.
Ooh, player dragged off the footy. Here's an opportunity for Georgetown. Kick inside 50. High ball.
Lorne Van, good grab. His 100th game today for Hillwood. So it's a bit of a milestone for him. I don't presume that he'd like to lose it. He's good kick out, but he's actually found, a bit of luck there, Hillwood. He's found young Andrew Viney.
Gee, there's a high kick. Players jostling underneath the footy. Ball comes down to the back of the pack. There's no one there. Kick off the ground towards the centre. And that's quarter time. Hillwood 2-1-13. Georgetown 1-3-9.
How's it going on the footy show so far? The footy line? About to bounce the ball. Pete in ruck against young Tuthill. He's bounced
I
it.
don't think it was there in the week, whoever it is, they can't
Actually,
spell.
young Tung Freeman takes a ruck. Passed out to young Kev Donnelly chases. Balls fall down. Well done, Donnelly. Gets a high tackle up and lets it go. On to Anthony Henry. Kicks forward 40 yards. Chris Airy at the back of the pack for Hillwood. Got the inside Hillwood's 50 metres. And boy, Bannon picks it up, goes to the boundary, and umpire throws it in.
Yeah.
And umpire, ball 25 yards away from Hillwood's goal. Throws in. Chris Airy and Tuttle rucking. Only Georgetown at the bottom of the pack. Young Jago, no handballs left. Umpire, all in, 4 on the ball, and umpire comes in, bounces the ball at the 50 metre mark of the Hillwood goal. Pretty opening game at the moment. Ball's bounced. Punched the boundary line by Tuttle. Yeah, gone out at the 50 metre arc. Boundary umpire throws in. Good throw, long. Tuttle with Chris Airy. Airy wins a tap. Down towards Jago. Jago punches in. Hillwood get it out. Airy back. Handball to mid-air. Tuttle takes it out. Handballs to Georgetown player. Kicks forward. Umpire lets that go. Bounces over Hammersley's head. And over the Georgetown's head. Hammersley back onto it. So he picked up by Jordan onto Danny Pete. Pete long. Centre half forward for Hillwood. Airy at the back of the pack. Mark probably what he should have taken. Georgetown clean up, mop up onto Jago. The glove one, handballs backwards. Put his player in a bit of trouble there, but he's good enough to get out of it.
That's Barrett kicking towards the centre wing. Handball comes inboard. Tackled without the footy. Held on to. And that is Tuthill. I've just confirmed that. Playing in 14. Mara's playing in 11. And O'Connor in 10.
Which
So
we actually did work out, which was quite clever of the commentary crew up here.
yes.
Without the guide or the assistance of a...
Here's a good pick-up. Handball towards mate.
Can't be ball if you don't hold them. Crowd, you have to hold on to them.
There's a high kick towards full forward. It's floating though across the face of goal and out in the full.
Umpire's done that twice today. He's actually looked quite good down there, twice putting the ball out of bounds. She's a good clean game at the moment. There's no bit.
Booth to let us know about the end of season barbecue. Triple S Sport, excellent. Thanks for that, Derek. No worries.
Yes, Derek Bird, they do a good job of commentating the local sport. And I think it's 85.5 or is it 87.5?
88.5.
88.5. I was only 2 off, only 3 off once and once off once. I think they do a very good job. I mean, people, they get stirred about doing it, but I think that without it, that's what the local sport needs.
Oh, it's a great thing.
And I think like this Footy Live 2 commentating is good for football. On to Mark Donnelly. In the meantime, we're back to Hillwood, going to the forward 50, kick in towards forward Hammersley, the back of the pack. I must say, the Hillwood players are playing, relying on the hot weather at the moment to try and take marks over the back of the pack.
Couple of handballs. And a kick towards touch. And the ball ends up over the boundary line, left half back.
But get look, young Ash. Young Hillwood boy down there, his young girlfriend that will not be looking. No cameras on the football. The all's chucked in anyway. He's kicked off by O'Connor towards the centre. Collins advances with 4 or 5 yards to spare. Bushes one off, kicks forward. And that's a high tackle.
Almost
to
have his head
Georgetown
taken
player,
off.
And it's well played on.
Runs on quickly. Oh, it's a pressure kick though, and it doesn't come off.
Viney.
Booted back inside 50.
Lawrence, not quite marked. Mark Donnelly looked for somebody on the right foot. Ball smothered. Viney. Hammersley again. Can he get the ball out? No, the umpire, Cliff Donnelly, somehow got the ball out of there. Over to his brother Mark. Over to a young 15-year-old Damien Cooper. And the ball looks like it's going to go out of bounds. No, Georgetown trap it.
Good
ball,
Shepherd.
Very good Shepherd. Over to young Jago, who's actually quieting down this quarter. He's had a fair bit of the ball.
He's a chance. Kicks towards the centre wing, looking for Mayer there. The ball misses him. Comes to ground level. Handball backwards. Jago in there again. Diving on the footy is Mayer. That's good stuff. Pulling it in and gets bottled up, and the umpire says, I'll have it and have a crack. Pop it to ground.
Umpire wipes the brow. She must be pretty warm out there today. There's been water boys working over it. Bounces it down. Tuttle wins it. Tuttle probably best on ground at the moment. He's played a very good game. Over to Jordan.
Yep.
The coach of Hillwood kicks forward. Puts it out of bounds the 50-metre mark. Pete contests. Down, O'Connor grabs it, kicks forward. Jordan punches forward backward to the win sign. The ball goes over 65 yards from Hillwood's goal. Very low scoring game at the moment.
It's only 20-minute quarters plus time on, Wally, so you know that. Hey, Big Dave. Just doing the commentary, mate. Well, just Big Dave's just sidled into the commentary booth.
Makes a couple of big fellas in here.
Yep.
There's what you call Stumpy's not overly small.
No, that's true.
He's found a new life after footy. It's called alcohol, but we won't go there. Mark Donnelly kicks up, kicks forward.
Tuthill backing back. Oh, 2 Georgetown players went for the mark, and it comes to ground.
Kev Donnelly, they call him KD. He's kicked forward, and the ball's going to roll just out of bounds, and it's out of bounds right near the behind post at the Hillwood end of the ground. So far, the ball's spent a lot of time in Hillwood's forward line, but they haven't been able to take advantage or score. The umpire's throwing it in right next to the behind post. Tuthill goes up against Chris Airy. Ball comes to the front of the pack. Keith Donnelly grabs it, lets it go. The ball is out. Peter Lawrence chases off the ground by Georgetown. Got out the 50-metre mark. Tom Freeman picks up. Punts back in 30 yards from Hillwood's goal. Airy against 2. Tuthill puts down. Very well done by Tuthill. Down to his man. Georgetown player, I think Mora, we'll call him Mora anyway, has put the ball out near the scoreboard on the...
little bit of how's your father.
On the old railway side of the ground. I'm not called what we call it these days.
I think it's actually Thorpe there, kicking the ball out, as I refer back to my...
we call it now the railway side. I suppose still with the S railway side still.
It's really the unfinished side, because they haven't put any grandstands there yet for it to be a fair dinkum complete AFL ground.
Over to Cooper. Cooper handballs in forward, inboard, 50-metre mark. Tom Freeman.
Well, there's a high hospital pass. Players gathering under the footy. Gutsy stuff as they dive up and try and take the mark. Here comes a handball. Out again. Handball again. Puts it on the right.
Cooper, banana kick, and I think he's kicked a goal. Young Damien Cooper, 15-year-old boy, who goes to Brooks and plays with North's under-16s. A good chain of handballs there.
3-1-19. Georgetown 1-3-9.
Tell them it's only going to be that copy that's going like that. It's not really bad.
Tuthill bursting through. Gets the handball out. Almost gets it back, but comes unstuck here. Hillwood kick just inside 50.
The umpire paid 2 down the ground at the moment, and both have gone to Hillwood. I don't think there's been a lot in both of them. I think that was a very soft, got him high, but it's part of the game of football. The bloke came in to tackle, and young fella ducks as he kicks and cops it, but still, umpire's been pretty good today. We can't really condemn it much. Umpires let it go. Looks like young Ben Wheeler. He'd be 80 yards out. He's dropped punt in towards his 45-metre mark. Peter Lawrence, total over the back. Misses Hammersley to Anthony Henry. Off one step, kicks, shoots, and he's goaled from 45 metres out. And he would have kicked away to a 4-1-25 lead to Georgetown 139.
Yeah, it's a good lead.
We have quite a good game here. The Georgetown experience doesn't seem to be coming through today. The Hillwood experience seems to be paying out today, which is something I haven't had in a long time. You have a cracketer?
Umpire ready to put it down in the middle of the ground. Nice straight bounce. They fly. Tatiel wins it. Good pick up. Oh, well smothered off the boot there. Almost broke his foot in half. Ripping his head off and then broke his foot in half again. Turning into trouble. Ball comes out. High kick. Hospital pass. Players hearing footsteps left, right and centre. There's a shove off the footy and the mark taken there. Georgetown looking to move play on quickly. There's a bit of space in the centre wing here. Needs a bit of run. Attempted pick up of the footy. Almost a shove in the back. The umpire lets that go. The ball comes out. Players dive on top of each other once again. Ball spills out. A bit of tunnel ball. Hillwood have got a chance here to kick forward on the left. That's a well-weighted pass. Handball comes out. It's not very effective. Running hard at the footy there is the Georgetown player in Harris. Handball's across his head, does Harris. That's a good one. It's come off, actually. And before we know it, the ball's across the centre wing. Taylor underneath the footy for Georgetown. Almost takes a gutsy mark. Spills it at the last moment. Pick up by O'Connor. Kicks towards half forward and backing back. The mark is spilled. Here we go. Comes to ground, almost having his head ripped off. Turns, puts it on the left. Kicks towards the goal square. High ball. They fly back of the pack. Tapped over the boundary line. In fact, over... No, the umpire's picked out a free kick.
Not sure what you pay that. Something down that end that they like doing things about.
We wait for the ball.
Quite a small crowd here at the moment. Or what would you suspect? Be 2,000, 1,500?
Yeah, probably 1,500 so far.
With the weather, I thought there might be a few more, but I suppose a lot of probably have gone down to Latrobe to watch the Bombers. So Venn kicks out. That's a good kick. It's out to the 55-metre mark. It's like Keith Donnelly got it out near the old alcohol's wing out there, which will probably all venture there today. The ball's gone out of bounds. Umpire will throw in on the Georgetown 50-metre mark.
Yeah, seem to be a few people over there enjoying one or two.
Quite a placid crowd at the moment, not really getting into it. It's a pretty open game. Umpire throws in. Venn rucks with... Comes to Chris Airy, who kicks back in. Tuttle again. Tuttle...
Gets an elbow into the cheek.
Craig Collins takes a mark. He's gone wide. Out to Keith Donnelly for Hillwood. He's on the back flank. Still a long way from home. Chipping the ball to Hillwood a lot. Back to Collins.
Oh, spills out. Gee. Chance for Georgetown. Kicking towards the front of the goal square. Players hold each other off the footy. Comes to ground. Front and square. Hillwood are the first to recover here. There's a pick-up. Tempted pick-up. Pressure applied, but Hillwood managed to break clear, and there's a lead. Tim Wheeler
kicks out. Damien Cooper grabs hold of the ball. Good handball. Craig Collins slips over. Holds the ball in. Lucky there Hillwood to get away with that. They probably should have been penalised by Georgetown. Probably a bit too much fancy work on dry day today. Get the ball and go long. Chipping the ball on York Park's not a good option, I don't think. Big open wide ground. Up high bounces. Tuttle rucks against Big Manafari from South Africa in his first year of footy. Handballs. Airy gets it. Handballs. Cooper comes in. Mara for Georgetown. 60 yards out. Looks for and finding. No, the ball's going to go to bounds, I'd say. The ball slides out. Umpire calls it out now through the end.
Bit of a struggle on the boundary line. It's Mayer there for Georgetown.
Here comes the bald runner, as we'd note again. You'd see the sun shining. He's making another change for Georgetown. Donnelly coming on. Not quite sure who's coming off. The ball's chucked in the Georgetown 40-metre mark. Well, the game's got a bit scrappy in the last 5 minutes. Hammersley dives in on it. Umpire's going to penalise him. He's going to bounce the ball 35 yards out from the Georgetown goal on a 45-degree angle.
Number 13's a bit of a Baker lookalike.
Yeah, number 13 looks like a tough customer. Not named in the program.
23, not quite sure who he is. He's quite a young fella. Tall, young, strapping boy. Manafari done well for Georgetown.
Here we go.
Oh,
Oh, great tackle. And I tell you what,
Right down 35.
I've seen some WWF wrestling videos that have got nothing on that. Superb tackle. And the number 13, unnamed in the program. He's,
stocky young fella. He, like he'd fit in the WWF arena.
I reckon.
Be 50 metres out shooting for goals. Could test his distance.
Oh,
Gone
little
short
passes
and-
on. Oh,
very
too
ordinary
short.
pass. Looking for Tuddle. The ball has actually gone back to where it started from, and they haven't gained anything. In the end, Tuddle kicks the ball out off the ground, and he's gained 10 yards, and the ball's bounced. Ball will be thrown in from the 40-yard mark from Georgetown's goal in the forward pocket.
Hey, mate, just want to jot down the under 18s, 28-minute mark. And for this game, we're at 35-30 for attacking.
Good smother by Keith Donnelly there in the forward pocket.
Throw-ins taking place.
Anthony Henry grabs it as a swing and a miss. A bit like Ponting would do sometimes at the Indian Tour.
Here we go. Here's a chance for Georgetown. Good pick up. Runs just outside 50. Kicks towards full forward in the forward pocket. The players fly. Comes to ground. Bouncing towards the boundary line. It's a pick up. Handball just bouncing on the boundary line. Hillwood keep it in. Handball inboard further. Tries to kick it out of the air, but to no avail. A couple of Georgetown players smash into each other, WWF style. Before we know it, the ball's at half-back for Hillwood.
Pete taps over his shoulder, goes towards Devonport. He's got to beat four.
Oh, good gather there. Good gather there by Harris. Kicks the ball high towards half-forward. Players dive up forward, flying everywhere, left, right and centre. There's a pick-up. Scragged. Taylor has the footy. Taps the ball in front of him, running around. Almost runs into a teammate. Looks to throw a punch anywhere he can. The ball kicked out, bouncing towards the boundary line. Picked up there by Hillwood.
Here he's got the ball. He's over towards, finding
Oh, good
Donnelly.
Good
but
grab
he
there.
handballs
Kick
straight
back
to
towards just
Georgetown.
outside 50 and the mark taken by Bannon. Wants to move play on quickly. The players are calling for the footy. Here we go. Good solid mark. Taken in front of him by our mate number 13. Sorry, you are not named in the program.
We'll
So
call him Plugger because he looks a bit like
Plugger.
a plugger. Yeah,
All right.
he'll do.
King
Not,
Kong Bundy.
not a lot of hair, but I'll
King
tell you
Kong
what,
Bundy.
He'd be, what,
Yeah, he's a
35
bald
yards,
wrestler.
40 yards
Yeah.
out. After his last effort, I think he'd be having a shot.
So King Kong Bundy to line up. Kicking from about 40. Terrible short pass last time that didn't come off. He'll be looking to put this one through the middle.
He comes looking in the commentary box. It's the cameraman who calls that. So Bundy runs in for 40 yards, shoots, doesn't quite make the distance. Umpire has called out of bounds. Yes, it's just hit just missed the behind post going to be but not a bad effort from Bundy. That'd have been interesting since he came on. He's only been on for 10 minutes, I think.
Exerting his influence on the game.
Yes, he's put probably a step over.
Here we go,
Got
another
the ball
chance.
again.
Bundy tries to get the ball away. Pushed off the footy.
I suppose if his best mate, you'd be Coke. You'd be Bundy and Coke together, but we won't go there.
Nah. Might wait till about 7 o'clock
The
tonight.
ball's gone out of bounds over near the looks like the Coldfielder Classic bit of tent. A few people frequenting that. Starting to get alcoholic involved here. Our umpire throws in from the east side of the railway wing. Here he's up in front. Handball. He takes the ball out of there. Handballs to Henry, who's had quite a good game so far. He's kicked the ball wide. He's out of bounds, is it? Yes. He's gained 60 metres, but he's about to give away 40 back from a Georgetown kick. Georgetown will take the ball. Looks like O'Connor. He's played on.
Handball back. Oh, very odd kick. Kicks it on the right. Doesn't have a left. It's sort of banana kick towards the centre of the ground. Georgetown have got a chance here to kick just outside 50. The ball's a bit too high, a bit too far.
Marked by Viney for Hillwood at centre half back. The true centre half back position. Many a Stan Reid in his day years ago would have been there at centre half forward. Viney kicks to the middle of York Park. Up goes Davenport. Doesn't quite. Collins out of his hands. Umpire let
Lucky
it
to
go.
get away with that. Pick it up, there's a call. He does. He's got a bit of space here. Has a bounce. Has another. Cover yourself in glory, son. Oh, good grab. Georgetown want to move play on quickly. Make something of this opportunity before half-time. Tutil, or Tutil as named. Are there 2 Tutils out there?
No, I think that's a Hibbs, but we could be wrong. Ball, there's a lot of players back in the Hillwood colours. The ball's come out, Donnelly. There's 3 of them playing there today, so there's a fair chance we'll get one of them.
Towards the boundary line.
And I think Venn will let the ball run out. The ball runs out in front of Vaughan Venn.
Yeah, so the, not quite sure who number 33 is, unless that's, perhaps that's Donahue. Anyway.
Umpire's thrown it in, 70 yards round from the Georgetown goal on the grandstand wing. Throws it in.
Good throw in. Taylor
Very
cuts the ball down. Kicks to the front of the square. Oh, 1 against 3. And 1 wins.
Tuttle's the man. He's the man that could cause the damage for Hillwood. He's gone forward twice now, and this is about to be his second mark.
For the owner of
Both
the
times.
utility registration DE4948. Roberts Limited Utility EE4948. Please return to your vehicle.
Special comments by the PA guy.
Both times he's gone forward total. He's taken mark 8, 10, 15 yards out from goal directly in front, and he's put that one straight through the middle. He's kicked 2 of the. He's kicked Georgetown's 2 goals. He's probably the best on ground at the moment.
Yep, 2 goals, 5, 15 Georgetown.
Can be collected at the Secretary's office.
I think the Hillwood player has numbered. So ball rucks Manafari against, looked like O'Connor in the ruck. Over to Henry. Hillwood go forward. Lawrence waits. Probably should have attacked that a
Awkward
bit
bounce,
harder.
yep.
And in the
Here's
end,
a chance for Georgetown to break away. Kick on the left towards the wing. Bouncing footy towards the boundary line. Attempt to pick up, tapping the ball forward is the Georgetown player there. Can't quite pick up across the other side of the ground. There's a good pick up. Handballs backwards. There's a handball from Hillwood. They take away here. Here's a chance to kick inside 50. Good pass.
finds Jenkins. Jenkins at the 50-metre mark, probably 55, 60 yards out from goal. Not a long kick, the old fat controller, but he short passes, and he's found Mark Donnelly, the captain of the Hillwood Twos. He will not.
Oh.
He is 50 yards out, and I will guarantee he will not make the
What did you call him? The fat controller?
fat controller.
Yeah.
Mark Donnelly, the captain, 50 yards out, will probably be lucky to make the top of the square. Probably a bit harsh on a man having a shot after the siren, but as he lines up, he's tried a mongrel sort of funny kick, and I wasn't far wrong. It's landed 16
it's
yards
bounced
out
through for
from
a
goal.
point.
And the umpire's
Oh,
going
that
very,
was sloppy by Georgetown.
very bad
Gee,
play by
I'll tell you
Georgetown.
what.
And it could come down to a point. The ball
won't be
bounced
happy with that.
probably 15 yards out from goal and rode through for a point. Very unfortunate play there for Georgetown, but a bit of
Anyway,
Hillwood luck.
Half-time scores. Hillwood 4-2-26. Georgetown 2-3-15.
Big Dave,
Yeah, okay, far.
into the mic there, mate.
Okay.
Until Davo comes back, and then he'll have to
But he should have been on his way up now.
All right, the ball goes up.
Ball goes up, play from Hillwood. Number 27, that'll be Peter Blaisley. Kicking it to a Georgetown player.
Oh,
Kicking it out in the full,
On the floor.
which is a free kick to... Doesn't say on here.
He's not listed. Calling nobody. Number 33. Who is he, Dave?
Kicking it into about 30 metres out from goal. Spilled the mark. However, another Georgetown player got it.
Oh. That's a goal.
Oh,
That's a goal, Big Dave.
Georgetown's kicking goal through A. Taylor.
Great stuff. All right, Stubby's back.
There he is back, yep.
Stumpy.
Trainee. Well, it's all happening in the commentary position here. And just joining the commentary position after another happy customer took about 20 videos away of the second division grand final. Oh, there's a high hospital pass towards centre half forward into no one. In fact, into the misspelt Qantas sign.
Which I think says Quintus, but
Quintus.
I won't go there. Obviously,
Right.
it's a bit like Hansted. It's not flying real well today, the sign, but we...
There's a big up. Chance for Georgetown kicking forward there through Lydon. Oh, bit of a bump. Didn't really come off.
Actually, there's Viney actually got out of that quite easily, and Danny Peet has taken the mark. Hillwood have actually got out of jail there. Handballed on to Keith Donnelly, 40 metres out from goal. Around 3 players, directly in front. Has he kicked that? It will be an inspiring goal, and he has. And I tell you what, I think that might lift Hillwood hopefully to a flag, because by jeez, they need one. Coming from Stumpy, who played in a couple of losing ones, but that's beside the point. There was Georgetown a bit stiff there. They actually made all the play. 3-on-1 out in the back flank. Hillwood player stayed back, got the ball, and they've actually ended up with a goal. And the scores would be 5-2, 32 to 3-3, 21. Umpire comes in, bounces the ball.
Oh, terrible bounce. It's gone sideways. Tudhill punches down. There's a good pick-up. Running through the centre. Oh, haywide as he got rid of the ball.
Jordan punches the ball forward.
Oh, he dodges one, dodges two. Gets past another tackle. Kicks just inside 50, but it's not much of a kick.
And Wheeler marks. Young Tim Wheeler. Winner of the under-18 best of Fresh Hillwood. Short passes, very silly short pass. Henry does well. Gets the ball.
Tries to,
over to Jordan, who has an airy.
Oh, that's the worst kick of the day. Oh, he gives a finger to the crowd. He gives a finger to the crowd. Did you get that, Wally?
Not quite sure what he was doing there. I mean, he ran straight, he kicked out of bounds and then abused the crowd. I mean, like, it was the crowd's fault.
Well, I think the crowd might have said something like, perhaps that wasn't a very good kick. Oh, Tudhill backing back with courage.
Oh, well done by number 9. I'm not quite sure who that is, but that was very well played.
It's Lydon.
Lydon.
We've got Walsh here, kicks the ball inboard. Mark taken on the chest. One
Fox.
quickly does Fox.
Oh, Fox played on to Hammersley over to Craig Collins. He bit stiff there, Fox.
Not happy with that.
And
Biffo,
over to Pete.
Biffo and centre wing. It's on. Ooh, a couple of lazy ones into the side of the cheekbones.
I think the camera's staying with the Biffo at the moment. Fox a bit stiff there. The bloke come from behind the mark. Umpire's call played on, and Pete's ended up with the ball. 40 yards out from goal, directly in front. Not quite sure what's going on there.
Well,
it's good bringing the crowd to the feet if he kicks this, because we'll give George Hillwood, although Pete has not quite made the distance. Umpire's paid a mark. I'm not quite sure how he's paid that.
That's bizarre.
That's holding. Well, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't like to be going to the toilet tonight, because I'd be peeing all over the place, because that's not holding. But we won't go there, and we...
What's the time there, Wally?
47.
And Hillwood Aries had a shot for goal, and he's kicked and he's missed from the right hand. He's kicked a point. Sorry about the bit of commentary, people, but that was a very ordinary decision.
Don't be sorry, it'll go in the show next week, that one.
Goal umpire got involved again. Looks like O'Connor kicking out from full back. He's going to the railway wing. He's kicked at the 55-metre mark. Good kick. Tuttle's give a shove, taking a good mark in front. Handballed along to Jago. Keith Donnelly run onto the ball. Normally a senior player for Hillwooders. Got himself a bit of trouble, got out of trouble, got a kick forward to Pete. Over near the grog tent. Yeah, the boys are giving it to him, and Danny's let him know, and he's short past, and he's found Lawrence. Lawrence dropped what he should have taken. I mean, a steam bucket would have took that. Hammersley forward. Missed the ball into Jordan. O'Connor's got good handball.
In the back.
Here's
towards Fox. Fox smothered. Ball's gone 20 metres backwards.
What was the time in that one before, Wally?
47.
There's a Hillwood player out on the far wing. Not quite sure who that is. Looks like it's a leg injury. Can't quite pick it up at the moment. Umpires, runners, trainers have gone everywhere. Umpire doesn't quite seem to be knowing what's going on. Hillwood a man down, so this could be critical. The ball on the Hillwood on the Georgetown 50-metre mark.
Handball comes back inboard. Pops it on the right, front of the goal square. Bumped off the footy there was the Georgetown player.
Ven's got 40 yards. He's got no one near him yet, and he's in the forward line. He's kicked it to Dalehurst. Dale's taken the mark. He's in the back pocket for Georgetown. Looks forward. He goes forward to Wheeler. And young Tim plays on. He comes in with his brother Ben to help. Handball's left-handed to Dalehurst. Dale puts his head down. Ben backs up very well. Over to Mark Donnelly. Donnelly kicks 14 yards. Looks for Anthony Henry. He's taken the mark in the wing. Kicks to the 20-metre mark. Lawrence turns round, runs towards goals. He's rolling forward. And Georgetown kicks off the point, and he's been put straight into the goalpost, if you don't mind.
On that, Wally? Oh.
He's trying to work out whether that pole will bend, and by looking at the Georgetown bloke's head, it doesn't quite bend enough. But that's. And then comes Pete. Pete's give up calling the races. Now he's come calling cars at car parks. And Georgetown kick out of the far wing, push in the back, very, very soft, as you'll see on camera.
Registration.
As you won't see on camera, bit hard with this going on.
4948.
Just out of frame.
Please return to your vehicle.
Gee, I tell you what, the ground announcing is not a patch on the VFL ground announcing.
No, unless I let you know it's going to get do-do-do-do, but we just get Pete thinks he's calling the races.
Oh, there's a good grab.
Here's a good grab.
In the
Who would
goal
number
square.
23 be?
With number 23's Daly.
And he's a big boy.
Yep, good grab. And this chance to put Georgetown back within 7 points. Almost the 8-minute mark of the third quarter.
Very tight game here at the park. Notice Georgetown kicked 3 goals. That's their 4th. They've kicked 4 goals from within 10, 12 metres, which is probably goes to show if they do get the ball in quickly to the front of the square, they're a danger. They've taken 3 marks.
4-3-27, trailing Hillwood 5-4-34.
I just think that they seem to be an umpire. We're going again. Umpire comes back in to bounce the ball. Bounce in the middle, good bounce. Tuttle was up. Tuttle has hardly lost a tap all day. Over to Henry, to Viney. Handball's out to Georgetown. That's
Scragged
hasn't
without
got
the
it.
footy.
That'll be O'Connor, I think.
Chance to kick Georgetown. Oh, slips on his bum.
50 metres.
50 metres for slipping.
Yeah, I think Henry ran over the mark. He's probably a bit stiff there, Henry, but the young fella did slip, and the umpire's given him a fair 50 too. He's gone from the centre wing, and he's only 30 yards out. I wouldn't mind buying real estate off this bloke, because if he works for Roberts, he'd be broke by now, I tell you, if he sold it by the square metre.
Gee, I tell you what.
He's got more yardage than
Must have gone
Castella's
over the
ever
mark.
ran, fair dinkum. And he's put him dead set in front when he was on a 40-degree angle. Now, how do you work that out? We don't know.
This for a 1-point trail.
Big kick here for
Special
O'Connor.
comment, Big Dave.
Yeah, Dave's come in on the side. And Connor's put that straight through the middle. That 50 metre costly for Hillwood. And the game's tightened right up here at the park.
Now trailing by 1 point.
Yeah, critter or what?
I think he's getting too old for his age.
Ball's been about something to chuckle about the AFL.
Ken Hardley.
Ken Hardley there is a man who's not sure he's playing cricket or football when he goes to football. But the ball's handballed out. Tom Freeman gets it. He's handballed to himself. Gets it back again. He's made 15. He's kicked off the ground. He's made 30 yards. Umpire's let that
Players
go.
dive on top of each other, rumpus room style.
Game's livened up here since half time.
Yep.
The first half's pretty boring, but the second half's got really intense. Now the umpire's having a bit of a word. The crowds are starting to get into it.
Bit of spirit.
Umpire, for some reason, like holding the ball off and bouncing the whistle. I'll tell you what they would.
Loves it.
There will be a
And
careful.
umpire is called a blood rule here. I don't know why. Someone's bleeding, obviously. Stupid rule that, if you don't bleed.
Good Georgetown player.
Yeah.
As he comes off, he's obviously... I don't know how he's bled down there. He must have... One of them people from Mars that Sheedy talks about, or that seagull might have got him, but the ball, 50 yards off the ball, and he's decided to bleed. Obviously, he must have cut himself this morning shaving, and it's just shown up. But
It's Ship coming off for the Georgetown for a moment. Ship.
yeah, that's his brother. He's in the toilet, but we won't go there either. Sounds like a ship.
Georgetown got the ball.
Here we go. Oh, it's a chance.
Should have been a free kick.
Free kick is the
Kick in
call
danger.
from Big Dave.
Hillwood seem to be panicking a bit here at the moment, and I think Fox has got the ball handballed in the centre half forward.
Oh, good punch, just inside 50.
Georgetown needs to get this.
Hammersley got the ball, looks for Jordan. Good 40-metre kick, Jordan, only man there. Oh, he's giveaway.
wrapped around the
Umpire,
side of the head.
umpire, what are you doing?
There's a pick-up. Kick inside 50, diving for the mark, off the chest, bouncing over the line for a throw-in, and all sorts of things happening in the commentary position here.
Obviously, umpire sponsored by Bolle because he couldn't see through there to get that.
Wanders the back.
Fair dinkum. If you couldn't see that, you weren't playing properly, umpire. Good chuck in. It's actually gone to the forward. Advantage. Fox has dived on the
shoved
ball
in the
when
bag.
he... very stiff there. Georgetown not to get a free kick. Craig Collins into Fox's back. Umpire's come in and he'll allow the ball up again. No, he's not going to this time. He's going to bounce it. It'll be 40 yards out from Georgetown goal.
Oh, it's gone sideways.
Collins taps the ball for Georgetown. He taps outside the 50-metre mark. Jordan comes in, gets it, gets taken out. Not fairly, says the umpire, but
Ball fair and above board.
Donnelly kicks off the ground to Wheeler, his young cousin.
Scrappy play.
Umpires one ball.
Hillwood are first the ball, 50 yards forward through, off the ground, handballing, kicking. Pretty scrappy game here at the moment. Umpires have let a little bit get away. I think they need to take control again. They did a good job in the first half. And the crowd are getting into it.
Nice
The bounce.
one. Oh,
Freeman.
Tuthill comes over the top.
Collins gets taken high. Yes, umpires actually starting to find a decent. Umpire's seen that. He was 6.5 yards away. If he couldn't see that, well, I'll tell you what, he wouldn't get out in my side.
Let's give it to number 20.
And Collins has got it. He's right in the middle of York Park. He's standing in the centre circle. Kicks to 40 yards of front of Georgetown. Tuthill backs again, gets punched out of his hands. Punch
Harris
forward
clearing to the centre wing.
to Viney mark. Good mark by young Andrew Viney. I mean, he's not that wide. You have to run around the show to get wet, the young fella. He's not real big. Henry picks it up. Handballs to young Tom Freeman. Goes forward long, looking for Lawrence. Over the back, Keith Donnelly. Easy as you like. Goals from 5 yards out. Better play Hillwood direct. And well done, young Andy Henry. As I said, he's not real wide. If you couldn't get wet in the shower, nothing would happen.
56. Get sort of half of the seniors then go and put it on. And they won't get a full game because
Yeah.
the time factors.
Ball's bounced in the middle. We've got Tuthill. I taken out the ruck by the ruck rover. Took it out Tuthill's hands.
High hospital pass to no one out in the centre wing. Bouncing into open space. Players descend on the footy. There's a pickup. Georgetown kick towards half forward. Good fly.
Good
over the
mark.
back.
Need to be Darren Hammersley. Good mark, I think. Looks like Darren Hammersley. It was Tubby. He's kicked forward to the half forward flank for Hillwood. And over the back of the pack, Chris Airy punches forward and the ball goes out of bounds. Umpire over the near the old grog tent again. Remember the old days, you have the cars parked around the ground, they're blowing the horns.
Did they used to have cars parked around the ground at York Park?
Yeah, cars used to park around there. It's
Really?
a bit disappointing now. I mean, it's good the ground's been gone, but you lose that a little bit in the end. You only probably get 40 cars around it, but she was good in the old days. The old North City days.
Yeah.
Coming in the ball. Umpires wanting it.
Yeah.
And, people book them.
Maybe something like that might happen with Ansett Cup games and that if you're not going to get 20,000. But yeah, you'll get the cars in the ground. I think it's good.
Umpires bounce.
Be good to see a couple of grandstands over there next year.
It will be because I come and watch a night game here and you look out there and all you see is pitch black dark.
Yeah, it's weird, yeah.
Which is, and you call which wing are they kicking to? The dark wing, which sort of doesn't really help. That's
Ooh.
in the back. Umpires let that
Bundy.
go. Big Bundy.
Bursting through the pack.
Bundy's kicked it straight off the ground. Tell you what, Bundy, that's a wrestling hold you'd find.
Oh, he missed it.
There's a shove in the back. Umpire lets it go.
The glove one's got it. Shane Jago. Good kick forward. Venn leads in the
Awkward
race for the ball.
bounce.
3 on 4 for Georgetown. Blake comes in to help him.
Good pick up.
33.
Oh, ball bottled up. Players jump on top of each other. A couple of lazy ones into the ribs. A couple of elbows in the cheekbones. A
Hurst
couple of
last to get
squirrel
up.
grabs.
Another move for Hillwood. On comes Davenport coming on. And look who's coming off. Davenport's a bit stiff today. He hasn't had, normally he's one of their better players for Hillwood. He's been out of the game today. That's holding the ball, umpire, and you let that go. Pete gets it up, kicks it to 50 yards. Parker's on his own. Tuthill approaches.
Oh,
It's-
Tuthill.
And
Oh,
umpire, that is
Sits on the
nearly a
footy.
mark. Gets it out to young Tom Freeman, who's got 40 yards here at the park. He's got more space. No one's coming on at the moment, Michael. There's the coach shilling out who's coming on. He's coming off. And that's well done by Moore. He's actually run out of a pack. Sorry about that. People we got involved in the coaching duties there. But
yep, change there. But Georgetown kick inside 50 here. Bouncing towards the boundary line. Good pick up. Put under pressure. Doesn't get a kick away. Hillwood will get a chance to rebound. Good pass.
Viney's had a fair of the ball on that far wing. There's not a lot of people playing on him. He's kicked Tom Freeman again. He's had a lot of the ball, young Tom Freeman. Only young 18-year-old young boy. That's a very ordinary kick, though, to Hammersley. Hasn't got it. Umpire's paid, dropping the ball. Very stiff there, I thought, but you only call him as you see him. The game's sort of tied down a bit at the moment. I think the hot weather might be getting to the young fellas, which is not hard to do. I suppose we're looking at 18, 19 degrees out there, out in the park. Hammersley taps over. Picked up by Dale Hurst. Into the middle. Chris Airy at the back. Taps forward. 24 for Georgetown.
Good pick
Picks up handballs.
Handball across.
Fox has got it. No, it hasn't. It's Jago. Yanni Pete,
Bundy.
who's been tripped. Bundy's giving him the step over toe hold, which most people would surrender to. Pete's just got up with the ball. It's a submission move, we feel. It's a good ball. Kick to Parker. Clinton Parker, second year of football ever. Kick the ball centre half forward to Lawrence, who plays for free kick, doesn't get it. The ball's out towards the Grog wing again. The balls are going quiet on the ground over there under the tent.
Oh, he tries to volleyball it across.
And that's nearly old. That's old.
Pressure.
That's dropping the ball umpire. Same decision, but you're not quite consistent. Very ordinary kick again towards Henry, and he's out near that tented again that we keep looking at. Young Cooper, 15-year-old boy, dives on the ball. What's that probably going to do? Penalised. The ball comes out. Good handball again by Mora. Out towards Henry again. He's a bit stiff there, Mora. Henry punches forward. Kirk only picks up 40 yards out. He's kicked a bloody good goal, and sorry for swearing, but we needed a little bit of excitement there. It was getting a bit dull, the game, and we've actually found something. And the runners come on. Look at the people in white and green. There's more runners and out there, and you'd find players. And we cross over to the fellow man that's has performed football life. Don't know what his name is, but he's not a bad snoozer.
Dave.
Only joking, his name's Dave. This goal might be very important. Georgetown now trail 5-3-33 to Hillwood 7-4.
Handball comes across. Here's a chance for Georgetown to kick deep into attack. It's a high ball. Players gather underneath it. Jostle under for position. Comes down front and square. Picked up by Hillwood. Has a bounce.
Collins runs out of the half-back flank. Kicks towards the centre wing. And umpires made a very soft free kick.
Yeah, it was there actually.
Very, very soft. But the umpires been very good today, actually. They've called a couple of silly things, but they've been, other than that, they haven't had no influence on the game, which has been good at the moment. And young Ben Wheeler kicks into the middle of the park. Looking for Hammersley. He's got no one on him, which is quite unusual. Oh, sorry, it's Parker. Dragged down by Mick Jago. He looks forward, sees Craig Collins 15 yards away. He marks the ball. Jago on his mark again. Holds him up. Collins at the 60 metres out from goal. On the Qantas sign, which is supposed to be Qantas. There's no kangaroo there on it, obviously. Looks forward to Dreams to Peter Lawrence. Drops what he should have taken. Too fair to him, he wouldn't catch AIDS in Bangkok today, Peter Lawrence. So, yeah, he wouldn't catch a cold in the Antarctica, the bloke at the moment. He just, that's a free kick too. No, umpire's let it go. The ball has gone out of bounds. It hasn't. Stayed in. Clinton Parker dives on it. Heath Fox drives in as umpire comes in. They're going to ball it up near the big light tower.
And there's a few more people gathering there under in the grog area.
Yeah, Dave, they seem to be enjoying a bit more. My doubt we'll be there later on. We'll be having a couple of lemonades over there, which they serve classic bit of lemonade.
Terrible bounce. Punch away.
And as you can probably tell by the commentary, the crowd over near the classic bit of the lemonade tent, you give the umpire a serve. Throw it in, they said, when you should be bouncing. That's as good a job they think the umpires are doing. And useless. Thrown in.
Harsh call from Big Dave.
Big Dave's just come into the commentary and given another interesting call there, the big fella.
There's a mark on the centre wing. It's can't pick it up in the program.
It's like Fox, I think.
Fox could be.
It is, well, the fun, awkward kicking style. I think there's only Foxes in Tasmania at the moment. There's been a big fox hunt lately, yeah. Oh, there's some down St Helens and it gets around that
Here
fox.
Here we go, Bundy tapping the ball in front of him. Oh, that's a good kick off the ground, but there's no one at home.
No one at home. Hillwood's got the ball.
The poor old Bundy, he's like he's in a two-man tag team at the moment. His partner's left in the big King Kong. Yep. On to Danny Pete. Danny Pete forward to Lawrence. Lawrence has finally marked something. Fair dinkum, if you give him a bucket today, he dropped 6 golf balls before he caught 8. He's actually taken a mark. He said, umpire, where should I be? And the umpire said, no, where you should be, and that's not here. You should be juggling. And fair dinkum, have a look at it. He's got a mullet the size of Warwick. Carrick, proud of that mullet as he comes in, Lawrence.
10-point lead.
45 metres out, stabs at it, doesn't even quite make the distance, and the ball's dropped by who player should have marked it.
It's out of bounds.
And it's gone out of bounds. Big Dave's worked that out because the bound umpire's about to throw it in.
Just not far from the behind.
What was the time there on the mullet call, Wally?
An hour and 4 minutes.
Thrown in, it's punched forward. Hillwood players have worked out that you don't, when you get the ball in the forward 50, you're supposed to keep it in, but they just seem to let it out so easy at the moment. Ball's gone out of bounds on the far side.
Well, it's 13 points in it, 2 goals in it. Dying moments of the third quarter. It's going to take a fairly strong effort from Georgetown to come over the top in the final quarter.
I think, Dave, next goal could be very, very vital.
Yeah, that's true.
They need to invest for a premiership quarter.
Premiership quarter. Big Dave's reminded us that.
Yes, I think the next goal, Hillwood go 3 goals up, but Georgetown 1 goal down. It's a very big. It's a 20. The siren's just actually gone, as we're about to say, the 25-minute mark.
3/4 time, 7-4-46. Hillwood leading Georgetown 5-3-33. And
You do comments on the quarter, or do you?
no,
It's not worth it. I'll go and get you something in the game.
bounce at the beginning of the final quarter, and there's a bit of drama about beer here in the commentary position, but I'm sure the beers will all balance out after the game.
Yeah, I made a couple of beers in the game. I'll end up over to Mick Jago. Mick Jago for Georgetown, kicks out in the far wing, looking for Collins of opposition, and nearly found him. Craig Collins has got it, the circles, but he's actually running straight lines today, which is strange to work out. Looks forward to area at the 50-minute, pushed in the back, umpire lets go. Over the fat controller, jumps on it. That would be Craig Jenkins. Chris Airy's got it, looks forward for Peter Lawrence, and the mullet's got it again. Oh. And you wonder why we call him mullet. If he ever turns around, you'll see. All you can see of his number is his hair.
Look at that.
Take him 4 days to comb it, feeding him. You need a brush cutter to get through it. Number 2.
His socks are already up, but he pulls them up anyway.
Yeah, another goal here might really put a nail in the Georgetown coffin. Not saying they can't come back, but it will be hard to come back to 3 goals down, I think, with a low-scoring game. They've only kicked 5 3/4.
Gee, he's taking some time with these socks.
Do you reckon they can kick 3 goals if they get up here today to kick?
Is this a time-wasting thing? What's going on here?
It's a player down.
Oh,
we thought it was a mullet do, sorry.
Oh.
Player's injured, hurt himself.
Big Dave he's got the latest from the ground there, and the mullet's just standing around having a look at the crowd, giving us the front-on profile.
May have injured his knee.
Takes a wide-angle lens to get the full mullet in.
That would be a surprise.
Got the job here on the mullet. Got the one hand and one ball.
Yeah, you got the baldy there.
So someone might have broken a leg, we don't know, a knee. Stretcher hasn't come out yet, so we're not quite sure what's going on. Don't know why the umpires held the game up. Normally you should have a shot at goal.
That's what I've had in my time.
Dave's had not many shots at goal in his time.
Knee injuries.
Knee injuries, Dave, yes. The amount of weight he's got to carry. Just getting over the fence an effort for Dave. He's worked out that the gate's there to go through, but he's not quite doing there, Dave.
107.
I'm doing my best, mate.
But we'll get there with Dave. He's a good bloke. He's the Big Dipper.
Georgetown players cramping.
No, Dave, it's who will break down. The Big Dipper, he's the other Dipper.
He's meditating.
Oh, he's meditating. He's doing yoga.
Cramps.
I'm not quite sure what's going on here with the crowd, with the umpires. If the bloke's either injured to come off or the game continues.
Big Dave stepped out to have a meditate himself.
Looks like an ankle.
I said, do you want to be Dave? I said, you could be the Little Dipper. He said, I'm the Big Dipper. Didn't get involved with Dave. I thought he was going to bounce me straight out the window.
Dave's actually gone to pull his tracksuit pants further up.
Is the camera on? If they're any further up, they'd be asking for a refund.
It's actually, they're just sitting just around
It's
his.
not going, is it?
They're sitting just around his nipples, and he likes them up under the armpits. So
Dave's just brought a new thing in. It's called the underwire tracksuit bottom.
he's lowered the crutch.
Yeah, as you know, you can either drop in or drop out. Depends on how far they go up. And we're not sure whether this should be edited, but we're just good with a lull at the moment.
Oh, there's a lot of Big Dave fans out there.
Big Dave, don't know that. Tell you what, when Dave wanders in, you know he's come because you can feel him. From about 3 stories away. We're only 2 stories up.
I reckon he's done an ankle.
Big Dave, yeah, Dave called it. He done an ankle. Dave called it from day one. He said he won't get up. He's gone down quicker than a $2 hooker, he said.
And there'll be plenty of them in Launceston.
Will it break?
The new nut coming off. Thou art Benny here. He's been running for 17 years. Covered more miles than Robert De Castella. Got less hair, but have a look at that mow.
Yeah.
Feeding him. That is one of the great mows in Lonnie. One of the ugly heads in Lonnie, but one of the great mows.
It's funny how you can have no hair on top and so much.
Well, I'll tell you what, the mow is enough hair to cover 4 heads. But, yeah, it's just a big eyebrow under his lip. Trying to give us a wink, and finally they worked out. I'm not trying to sure who's coming off at the moment. We've got Bob McLean carrying off, young bloke of Hurst, Paul Richard Hurst, poor Nigel Hurst, they call him Nigger. Probably that's not appropriate, but poor Nigger Hurst, who should be a member of this Hillwood team. That's his father, second at the back, carrying the bloke off. Went for a mark the other week, trying to put his shoulder out of joint for the 4th time this year. Missed out on the grand final team, going for a mark, so that's a bit stiff. Looks like Anthony Henry coming off, actually. The bloke who left Georgetown to come to Hillwood, so it would be a bittersweet memory. I think the Verbs sing Bittersweet Symphony. I think this could be a little bit of thing, but the mullet's lining up for goal. He'd be 30 yards out on a 45-degree angle. Well, he's combed his hair, he's got it pretty. He's kicked badly, or as I said, he either kicks really good or really bad, and that's a bad one. Hasn't even made the distance, and it's marked by Georgetown. Very ordinary effort, the mullet, after all that time. Big Day's just come back in the box.
I think he just got bored.
No, mirrors doesn't help the mullet.
It doesn't seem like a grand final right now. The intensity's fallen out after the incident.
Georgetown will need 3 goals to stay in the game.
Well, if they get 3 goals, they'll actually win.
If they kick 3 goals, Dave, they're right in the game, I'd say. But then again, if they kick 5, they're probably out of the game. But
they need to win this for the premiership.
Yes, that's a big call, Dave. So do the other team. But I'm not quite sure what you get if you don't win. I think it's called not a premiership.
You get drunk.
Yeah.
Just like the other side.
Big Dave.
The premiership quarter.
Big Dave. The expert calls there from Dipper. That's the little Dipper. That's Big Dipper's brother, Dave.
Claiming this is a premiership quarter. I always thought the 3rd quarter was a premiership quarter, Dave.
No, it's not.
No.
So when does the flag fly, Dave?
As soon as the siren goes.
There you go, Dave. So whoever's in front wins, Dave.
That's correct.
Dave's worked that out. Dave's really consulted.
Georgetown, you need some more goals to remain in the game.
Yes, Dave. Dave's told him.
Hillwood's got a chance here.
Dave's actually coached them all there. He's actually, had he been 3/4 time coach, he would have said, if you don't kick enough goals, you won't win, and that's probably bloody true, Dave.
They need to win this to stay in the match.
Talking about the match, the ball's somewhere in front of us. Out in the ground. I think it's about halfway between me and
grab the seat
South America.
Have 5 minutes on the chair, mate.
And we'll leave Dave. Dave's going to have it. We're going to leave Stumpy and Dave going to put the big Dave into the call. He's going to do the call for the next 5 minutes.
Hillwood's got the ball, kicking it to the outside of the post, out and out of bounds.
Give a camera away, will you, Dave?
Good, mate, yourself.
Umpires bounced it. Wide pass. Georgetown player went over. Number 11. Umpires wanting the ball.
Trying to hand out a few names, Dave. We've got the umpire bouncing the ball. We've got Manafari bouncing the ball against Tuttle. Umpire bounces. The big Faree, 6'6", South African. He's 6'4" early. He's grown 2 inches since the game. Over to Mark Donnelly. Caught high by Tuttle. And he's paid for on the ball, umpire. That's a very, very...
He's paid to throw to Georgetown.
Yes.
They want him 50 metres and they won't be getting it.
The mullet's not happy, and I think Georgetown need to get on with the game. And 7 minutes, there's probably 13 minutes to go on the game, and Georgetown need to kick 3 to be in front.
Hillwood's kicking the ball. Hillwood player's kicking the ball. He's kicking it to number 15.
If you just call the Georgetown players,
Yep.
Big Dave, let Stumpy call them.
Not quite sure what's going on there. Collins got a free kick at the centre wing. Umpire, there was not much holding on there.
Craig Collins has got the ball.
Fair thing, if I more misses that tight, she squeals. I don't know right enough. So I don't know. The mullet's gone up. He's got it down, the mullet. He's handballed with one hand. I'm not quite sure he done this. Broken wing, the mullet. Fair dinkum, he couldn't fly if he had peanuts. Here we go, and it's handballed out of bounds. And young Andrew Viney, the little fat fella. Here comes the bound umpire again. Have a look at his posture. He's grabbed it. He's run back. He's about to throw it in. He looks like a statue. Fair dinkum. Here he goes. He tosses it.
Bit of a bounce.
Oh, 30 yards over his head goes Manaf Revis. Tuttle probably best player on the ground today so far in the team. To Mark Donnelly, who handballs. Fox has got it. Kick left foot. Good grab.
Taylor's got the ball. He's kicking it into the square.
That's a fair big square there, Dave. Which square is that? Goal square, centre square,
Centre square.
outer square.
Kicked it off the ground.
Out chases Hammersley.
Hammersley's getting the ball.
You've got Scotty Davenport chasing him. Davenport leads in the race the ball out towards the Alcoholic Sprite tent. The blue tent, which we could spend a bit of time in later. Off the ground by Davenport, which is good, but
Georgetown has the ball.
That would be Brendan Tiernan. Handballs to Fox. Kicks forward.
Kicking into the forward line.
Well done by Venn. Here goes, they call him Fluky, but he's
giving it to the opposite.
Straight to Keith Donnelly. I don't know if Fluky's colourblind, but I'm not sure. We must have had a few the other day.
Hillwood's got the ball. Yep.
Kicks forward, Parker marks in front of the tent. He's 60 yards out from the Georgetown goal. Kicks out in the far wing. He's kicked the 2-on-1. Mora marks, plays on, touches the ball down, kicks on the left foot, short. Finding a Georgetown player out in the classic bit of attempt. And he'd be 60 yards out from goal, and Dave's about to take his name and his comments.
This is for the kick that you need to stay in the game.
How many goals do they need to stay in the game, Dave?
6.
Very ordinary kick. Kicked the Wheeler, Benny Wheeler from Hillwood. The ball's back now on the far centre wing. And we just ticked over to 10.5 minutes. Running out of time, mucking around the ball, Georgetown. Not a good move. Into Mickey Jago in the middle. Jago's missed it. Picked up handballs far wing. Missed his player.
Missed it.
All Georgetown are doing at the moment is helping Hillwood out by fiddling with the ball. They've taken 4 marks, as I said, in their front 15-metre mark.
Hillwood's got the ball.
Good mark by Georgetown player. And
Given that as a kick.
Looks like Manar Faree. He's actually taken the mark, the big South African. He punts her up. He thinks he's playing rugby, the big fella. Good mark. No, not quite by 24. Collins jumps on the ball. The ball up. All this time helps Hillwood. Eats up 5 minutes of the game. And at the 11-minute mark, we find Georgetown 5-3-33, Trail Hillwood 7-4-46. And if
score has not changed, and I'll give you back to Dave Sheen.
About to say Dave will step out and Stumpy have a spell, but poor old Stumpy's still stuck here. Dave done well. Over to Pete. Pete pumps it into the 50-metre mark to the Fat Controller Jenkins. He's caught behind. He's held on to the man. Yes, holding the man, Fat Controller, I'm afraid.
He controls his own fat, or
he
someone
does,
else's?
yes. He thinks he's a train driver, the Fat Controller. The fart controller, as they said. In England, he's the fart controller, but Georgetown just seem to be kicking willy-nilly. It's not like it's like they're 15 goals behind, not 2. Mark Donnelly's taken the ball forward. He's right on the centre square at the park. He's gone for a short pass to his brother, and he's fainted. Fair dinkum, he's fainted. He's fainted like Australia 3, sunk straight to the bottom.
That could be 50 and a report possible.
No, I don't think Dave. I think he fainted. I think the airbrush got him, Dave.
He made a bit of contact.
And the umpire's paying 50. Umpire, you have been bluffed. Umpire, you have... No, Dave, you are not right. You see the footage as umpire, you will be ashamed. The only thing that got him was the ball hitting his head. The air between the ball and the hand, umpire.
Just want to draw your attention, Stumpy, to something off the ground.
Yes, they're called Foxy, and they are very foxy. And we see Brad Green following not quite on camera, but Brad, the Melbourne specialist, whose dad is here somewhere. Yes, he is, the old fella down there, and the arms folded, who's just watching his son watch them.
And he would put another one through.
Who just go by?
That's 8-4, 52.
So thank you very much for that, Brad Green, following them Foxy Hooters, but we won't go there, Brad, because you're on break.
Umpire's batting the ball in the centre square.
That's true.
That is true, Dave. They are a fair... I mean, that's good umpiring, yes.
Up she goes.
I mean, and tell you what, Hillwood kick another one. I think they might be home, but we won't go there yet because strange things happen in the grand finals. But Georgetown are just they're struggling to find a target.
Ball kicked over the boundary line and out of bounds.
At the 13-minute mark of the final quarter, it'll be Georgetown 5-3-33, Hillwood 8-4-52. Georgetown need to kick 4 goals, and we've probably got 10 minutes to play. And I think, Dave, it could be a bit out of the range at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be a big ask, I think, given the low-scoring nature of this encounter. There's a high kick over the centre wing. Comes to the back of the pack. Oh, attempted pick up, but smothered well by the Hillwood player there. Players try and bump each other. That little handball comes out, another handball.
Hammersley at Davenport, kick forward, Tuttle drops a mark, plays on to Pete.
Beaten into the ground.
Big Manar Faree plays on. Done all right, the big fella for South Africa, never played before in his life.
Yep.
Mark Donnelly's been pinged holding the ball. I think it's a good decision. Dropping the ball, yes. No, go mad, Mark.
Georgetown will need to kick
And,
it in before line to stay in the game.
Mick Jago's got it. Good mate of mine, Michael. And kicks to the centre wing. Yes, but that's not the place to be when you're 4 goals down in the grand final. You want to be going straight down the middle. I mean, he found 50 metres, but all the time out at the moment helps Hillwood.
And don't forget, you can order your broadcast copies of this tape for only $20 from Fifth Wall Productions. Just phone Mark Stone at Football Tasmania.
Thanks, Peter Holden.
Funny thing is, though, we've got Stumpy commentating, and it's worth $20. Probably gone up to 40 at the moment. Yes.
Oh, we'll give you your own complimentary copy, Stumpy, for all your great work.
Could be scary, mate.
Discount for friends.
Yes, and we get big special Dave on the boundary line doing the commentating. I mean, he makes Doug. Who's that, Doug York? He makes Doug York like Dipper, so that's
right.
You can't complain about that.
Oh, here we go. What's happened here on the centre wing? He's taken it over the boundary line.
Out of bounds.
Disappointing. Just marked it just inside and then carried it over, was it?
Here comes the new nut run again. If the man pans to him, have a look at the profile of the big runner coming off the ground at the moment. The man with not a lot of hair. He's just panned on him, I think. But we're going back to the football. Sorry.
Oh, gee, I tell you what.
At the moment, sorry, Dave. The runner coming off the ground is the most exciting part of the footy at the moment. But it's getting them. There's been no biffo, Dave, which is quite surprising. I think the senior game might be a bit fiery.
Yep, would expect that.
Been a pretty good team. It's young Cooper kicking forward to the mullet. The mullet goes up. Yeah, it's Peter Lawrence, alias the mullet. He's been a focal point today, the mullet, but he hasn't really sort of combed a lot. He sort of brushed through a fair bit, but yeah, we'll get there with the mullet, you know.
Is he ever tackled by the hair?
He's a very mirror image of himself today, the mullet.
A mirror image of himself?
Yeah, you know. He does. It's a bit hard to get all the hot mullet in at once.
Oh, Stacks on the middle there, and there's a great opportunity for players to get a couple of lazy ones in.
Slick right-hander went in there from Hillwood player.
Asking for the ball.
Might be. No, it wasn't quite who I thought it was. It wasn't the mullet. The ball's bounced. Up goes Tuddle. Tuddle's been a very relentless try. Very unlucky to be dropped from the seniors today. A nice performance. The ruckman will want to stand up for Georgetown today in the seniors.
Georgetown will need to get some pride here.
Here we go. Here's the chance for Georgetown. Handballing forward. Tapped forward. Needs to pick the ball up. Dives on top of it. Handballs out, but Hill would recover here. It's a kick.
And
Tuthill's
there's someone been down here on the forward line. And they've both been booked.
Report has...
And it would be young, stupid... They call him Fluky. Been sent off the ground. They fair dick him. If you can find an idiot, it'd be three of them. And he's the captain of Georgetown. And not a real good episode, I don't think, from Georgetown captain. Probably a silly call from a semi-biased Stumpy there, but I think that Fluky is a long walk. He got the walk of shame coming off at the moment. Umpires sent him off the ground. And the crowd are giving it to him. Here he is, the cameraman. Umpires, a couple of reports. One comes off the ground.
It's probably it's probably all over for Georgetown now. You said Georgetown finished on top of the ladder. I
think they did, as I sort of discussed earlier. We thought Scottsdale did, but I think Georgetown might have finished on top. And I think they won the second semi, and they've gone. Umpires give 50 metres here. Not quite sure what for, but Georgetown are chucking it away. Any hope the 17-minute mark is just about to tick in at 18th minute, Dave, and I think that a few disciplinary reasons. You can hear the crowd. Umpire's given a fair 50 metres. I said, if this bloke was selling real estate, he'd be bankrupt. That is near 100 metres. Yeah, he was 20 yards outside the 50-metre mark, and now he's on the 10-metre line. So you add that up. That is a Dave specialty.
This goal is for a 25-point lead.
Yep. The big Dave's just made the call. 25-point lead it'll be if he kicks this, and that'll just about put it beyond question. And Hillwood's first reserves flag.
First one ever, mate. We've lost, I think we've lost 5. I went there in 1988. We've lost 5. We lost 98. I think we might have lost 90, 92. We've lost the last 3. We lost 2 years ago to Georgetown by a point after being undefeated all year. And this one here will be bittersweet memory. And that's gone through for a goal by Clinton Parker. And I think that if they don't win this, Hillwood, they don't deserve to win anything.
Yeah, I think we can hear the fat lady warming up in the background. There we go, just a few tones.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
As you can probably hear, they're stirring out a young bloke by the name of Darren Yates, who played with Hillwood for the last 4 years. He got beat 2 years ago by a point by Georgetown. He left Georgetown this year to go back to Hillwood. Sorry, left Hillwood to go to Georgetown this year. And the crowd are giving it to him, saying you left too early, Yatesy. 3 in a row he's missed out on. This will be the 4th one. That is, I'm sorry for Yatesy, but sort of sucked in, Sammy, mate. We owe you. You owe us a couple now, big fella. And the ball is in Georgetown. The Sting's gone out of the game now.
Yep. Oh, there we go. It's on there. Ah,
The Stingers
no holds barred. There's plenty of sting up there in that part of the game. Get in on that, Wally.
Could be booked for wrestling if not careful.
Young 15-year-old trying to take on 30-year-olds. He's not real bright.
Here we go. Play has gone on, and Hillwood kick inside 50.
Chris Airy, yes.
Bouncing 30 metres out from goal.
Airy's tapped it in front of himself towards the scoreboard. He's got 5 yards now, kicks up.
1 point lead.
That is, would have been a good goal, but it's a point, but it scores now at a 5-3-33. Trail Hillwood 9-4. Sorry, 9-5, 59. No, it stays at 9-4. The young 15-year-old baller a minute ago, ticking on the big fellas, having a crack at them. Don't worry about that. He's got a bit of fire on the young fella. Got to spend for about 4 weeks in the under-16s this year. Not for being friendly either. Oh, look forward. He's kicked.
17 Hammersley.
Hammersley's got it. He'd be former Mowbray player, come to Georgetown, played in the Cumbria Seconds Premierships at Hillwood, recruited him to actually. Here comes a bloke just coming on. Stalwart for Hillwood. Played 101 games. It'll be his last game today. It'll be Willie Underwood. I think it's his first run today as Hammersley lines up. And he's put that straight through the middle. And I think it's all over now, fellas. I think Hillwood Sharks will finally come swim into the grand final. I think Georgetown are floundering on 5-3-33 to Hillwood 9-5-59. See you today, because I think Georgetown were all pretty confident they wouldn't nearly win 3 flags today.
Yeah, well, it's certainly disappointing for Georgetown to go down in the first 2 games today, and the seniors would have to be pretty short odds against Scottsdale, although anything can happen in a grand final.
Well, as you said, just because you finish on top of the ladder doesn't mean a lot, does it? It just sort of means that you get through easy.
Yep.
Sometimes playing all the finals helps.
Yep.
And she's just gone quiet at the moment. The ball's about to be bounced to the middle again. The umpires had 1 bounce. And we just ticked over to 22 minutes. I know
It's almost the sort of time you think the timekeepers may as well just blow that.
I think there must be about a minute and a half to go. It wouldn't be a lot longer. And
No one gets the ball.
Tudor was that tired, he's missed the ball. He's probably been, I don't know who got the medal, but he shouldn't he deserve it. Over to Keith Donnelly to Collins. Collins handballs towards the mullet. The mullet picks it up. Tell you what, if he's a mullet, you wouldn't need him because he's not a very good fish at the moment, the mullet. He's had an ordinary day. Here we got a bloke sitting at Georgetown, centre half forward, but we've got a free kick. I just hope there's not too many brawls. I just hope there's a bit of comradeship at the end of the game. Because I think the blokes think it's been a pretty good. I think umpires Dave have done a bad job.
Yeah, they've let it go pretty well and pulled it up when necessary. But yeah, I think it's been pretty good. Here's a chance for Georgetown to put a bit of respectability on their scoreboard, as Big Dave reminded us just a few moments ago. But there's a good
Jay
mark.
King kicks forward and marked by Darren Hammersley. Probably be his last game for the club too. Probably a 150 game player, 37 years of age. Over to the mullet. The mullet's finally marked, but he's marked out that far from goal. He'll probably have a shot now on the mullet. He'll line up the big top. Yeah.
Oh, he's going to pull his socks up.
Yeah, no. He's pointed long, just something
Pointed
different.
long, kicks short.
Yeah, he should do that all the time because the shot for goal today's been terrible, the mullet. But just his presence.
Completely through the Georgetown side, didn't he?
Yeah,
Instead of kick long, kick short.
He did. You either sink or swim, said the mullet.
Georgetown hasn't scored a goal for this quarter.
No, Georgetown have nearly been scoreless. Actually, might have got a point, but I'm not sure the three-quarter time.
Interesting that they've made they've brought out an Australian feature film called Mullet. I'm not sure if that documents the story of this mullet.
The mullet has got again. The mullet's decided to present himself. He's only 60 yards out. He might have a crack at it. He just like to kick this, the mullet. He's pointing long again to really confuse him.
Yeah, he'll kick short then.
If he was a dead set, he's gone short again. So he's just really buggered him.
They've got to work this out.
The coach has got it, Mick Jordan, on the 50-metre mark now. He would make that in 3 kicks.
Now what he's got to do is signal short and go long.
Yeah, he'll go to the mullet. He's going to the Willie, the one nut, they call him. The red-orange roughie. Obviously known as the period for some reasons, but we won't go there.
Well, it is a family show after all.
As I said, we won't go there. Period is because he's just been on the ground for a little bit of a time.
That's true.
Will be winning this quarter?
Yes, it would be far in front. Kicked 4 goals last quarter, the none. You're a fair chance to be winning the grand final.
Oh, there's a fairly pointless kick out of bounds, and
if you pan down in front of us, this will show the Georgetown people. You got King Kong Bundy down here, number 13. Against 4 Hillwood players. I mean, that's been probably the story of the day. Georgetown have just ran out of numbers. The Bundys tried hard. And there goes.
And there
goes the flag for the Hillwood players.
Scenes of absolute elation. Look down here on the Hillwood bench as these men are hugging each other, screaming, saying, yeah, hands aloft. arms around each other, the occasional squirrel grab as the hands go
Well, thank
down
you,
the
Dave. I've
shorts.
got to go down and support the boys. As I said, first one, been there 14 years, first one. Thank you very much for having me, and best luck and good calling for the rest of the year.
Thanks,
mate,
thanks
thank you
very much, Stumpy. Good on you, mate.
Stumpy.
Thanks, mate.
Well done, mate.
Go the Sharks! Good on you, Stumpy. Good, mate. Thanks for the special comments, big fella.
You're welcome.
All right, just, I'll just go with I'll just have picking up everything.
Shortly, ladies and gentlemen, the reserve grand finals presentations for Bedlam Cup will also be entertained by the Launceston Railway Silver Band. The first of two appearances of the band will give you some information about the Silver Band as well. Stand by now for the cup and medal presentations to Hillwood. This is the fourth grand final appearance by the Hillwood Football Club in the reserves competition, and after 3 losses, they take away the cup today. Congratulations to Hillwood. This is their 4th successive grand final reserves appearance, and today they go home with the cup. The medal presentation to Hillwood, winners of the reserves grand final, delighted to come forward with Mick Jordan, the successful coach of the Sharks. NTFA President Jack Bennett to present the Graham Khan Medal, Craig Collins. A long year, Craig. Very long year, very, very long. Where are the celebrations? At the footy ground tonight? Yeah, for a very long, long, long time. Well, I know that come tomorrow morning, you'll know you were there tonight. Good on you, Craig. The best Shark of them all. Now we call upon the successful coach, Mick Jordan, to announce his players individually. And Jack Bennett will present the medals. Congratulations, Mick. Right.
Should be race calling still, mate. Dale Hurst. Dale. Craig Jerker Jenkins has waited for this moment for a lifetime. Peter Dreamer Lawrence, who was coach when they got beat by that point, 99. Well done, Dreamer. Thought he played very well today. A lot of senior experience, Keith Donnelly. Okay, dude. Another one of those senior blokes has helped us out today, Louis Pete. Right, man. I thought until he went off, he was the best man in the grand final mile, and he's an old Georgetown boy. Ant Henry, well done, Ant. My cousin now, Clint Parker, well done, cuz. Got a game. You got a game. Thought this young bloke had an outstanding final series, Anthony Viney. Well done, I'm Andrew Viney, well done, Andrew. Now, mate, Mo Blazik never won a grand final in his life. And he's pretty emotional at the moment, old mate. I think he might be burning them. Only 16 years of age, about 4 foot nothing, but by Jesus can play. Young Cooper, Damien Cooper. Who we got up the back there? I can't see him. Young Benny Wheeler, I think he's not much over 16 either. Probably 80, I don't know. Next bloke had a pretty ordinary game last week, but he bounced back today, fine fellow, Chrissy Airy. The old man from out Pipers River, Scotty Davenport. Must be a lucky charm, come all the way from South Africa, the big fella, Mana Fury.
Congratulations, Swahili or what?
Tell you what, Mickey has got some souls. I can't remember the last time I hit a ruckman.
Who we got? He's hundreds games a day, full back, Lord Ben. Well done, Benny. Who have I got left there? Tommy Amersley, come on down. His cousin, Scotty Amersley. Little Ferret Donnelly, well done Ferret. Grant Donnelly. Thought he done an outstanding job today when he came on the ground in the ruck. Tommy Freeman, mate, everyone's proud of him, Tommy. 16-year-old Timmy Wheeler, right, Timmy. Outstanding young player. You always say your captain to last, but I'm saving the blood nut, the second last, Willie Underwood. Oh, CC, he got another medal. Yeah, I didn't see that. Craig Collins. Yeah, and Mark. And just before I get Mark up, I'd just like to say commiserations to Georgetown. They beat us a few weeks ago in the qualifying final, and we hope we get through to this day to set ourselves for that. Bad luck, boys, but you're fluky. As always, next year, mate, as they say. No doubt you'll be back bigger and stronger. We'll have a good night tonight. I hope you guys have a few drinks and probably get one out of the day, but anyway, we'll see what happens. To Max and Rod Green and Grant Radford and all the coaching staff, Bob, all the trainers, Water Boys, my runner Betty, all the blokes that have been involved over the last 10 or 12 years to make this day happen for the second. My family, very supportive, always come. I love them dearly, and now Mark Donnelly, our captain. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, flying coach Mick Jordan. And now the Sharks come to get the cup. Jack Bennett, NTFA President, to present the winners of the NTFA Reserves Grand Final, the 2001 making their 4th appearance and their first victory, Hillwood Sharks.
You haven't seen Dave around, have you?
No, I haven't. Why?
Oh, he's really good at some food.
Did you eat or something?
The grand finalists, Scottsdale and Georgetown, and the seniors are on the ground. Some of our mid-match entertainment. Please put your hands together for the Launceston Railway Silver Band. Ted Hicks is the musical director.